Thank you for having me today, for inviting and for giving this opportunity to share on what we do on the topic of vulnerable people in the information society. So my name is Yuliya Morenets and I represent the organization TAC, which is Together Against Cybercrime. It's a civil society organization, and we work mainly on cybersecurity, cybercrime, and child online protection. So the logical question will be, why vulnerable people? And so it just appeared like this. As just Anna said, we organized once the workshop at the IGF, which is the Internet Governance Forum, in Vilnius, actually just before Bali, and the topic was online threats, and the focus was on migrant population. And the number of IF companies and their representatives were there during this workshop. And actually the outcome of this workshop, it was that we really need to pay particular attention on online threats and online safety with regard of the vulnerable population. Why? Because they can easily be involved in illegal activities or become victims of cyber criminals easily with regard to other population and other stakeholder groups. And so with that, we need to do something. We need to continue our discussions on online safety and vulnerable people. But afterwards, we had a discussion with a number of colleagues, and we said maybe we need really to not only to focus on e-safety, but on the participation of vulnerable people in the information society. We have to underline and to bring to the table the question of access to the information for this particular group, access to the internet, to the infrastructure, access to e-government services. And simply we need to bring vulnerable people to the information society in order to have their voice be heard. So we had this idea to organize the open forum at the IGF in Bali together with the Ministry of Science and Education of Portugal. Anna Neves was one of the panelists, and together with the International Federation of Library Associations. It was a really mighty stakeholder meeting. It was other governments from around the world present there, companies such as ICANN and others. And the outcome practically of this open forum was the call for action that we need to do something together at international level, particularly at European level, to put our efforts together and to see how we can continue the discussion, but also how we can act now. And so afterwards, I would like just to bring to the attention that during the IGF in Istanbul, it was the plenary session on access and diversity, and it was clearly underlined that we need, the European Union has to play a particular role and to be leader in this field, and in the field of how to empower, actually, I think it's a world of vulnerable people in the information society. So I'm practically here to bring this message that we need to work together. We really need the involvement of all European Union institutions. We need the political movement at the EU level in order to not only to continue the discussion on how to empower and how to bring vulnerable people to the information society, but also how to act and what will be the next steps. I would like just to give a few points on what the definition of vulnerable people. As just Anna Neves said, it was taken from the Tunis agenda, but during our meetings and discussions, we came up with the idea that vulnerable people, because it can be quite difficult to define who are vulnerable, actually. So we said maybe we have to pay particular attention to people with disabilities, elderly people, marginalized young people and children, the unemployed or those facing social problems, but also people in current vulnerabilities, so practically affected by social, economic and political aspects right now. I'm here once again to say that we need to act together and put all these efforts together and to see how we proceed next. So thank you again, and I will be happy to bring details of our discussions during this year's